Hey everybody out there, you're tuned in to 91.8 The Fan. You're in my corner, and I have a very special guest in the corner, a returning challenger. Would you like to unveil your not-so-secret identity?
If I must, my name is Katy Johnson, and I am the marketing director for Fal-Con, the two-day anime gaming and multimedia convention hosted at the University of Montevallo in Montevallo, Alabama. Pew pew!
There's a laser fight? What's going on?
There's time for a dinosaur laser fight.
Nobody cued me in on this. I wasn't prepared. Where's my Nerf gun? But no, it's nice to get a chance to talk to you, and check with, how the convention did last year, because, it's always nice to see conventions growing. So, did last year exceed your expectations? Was it a little bit lower? How did it go?
Well, with Falcon in general, every year could potentially be our last year because we are a smaller con. We're not like the big Momos and Dragons, although they all do start out small. But last year, yes, we did very well. We reached about 500 or so people, including our volunteers and our dealers. And we've been growing at about a 25% rate each year. So this year we're expecting about 500 to 700 people. However, because our social media presence has gone up and a lot of our recognition just in general has been going up, we might be expecting more of an increase this year. So here's hoping. We just want to put on the best show we can.
Well, I'm excited for that. Do you have any new events planned this year that weren't there last year?
Yes, we have not only the largest guest list that we've ever had, but we also have a lot more interactivity. We have Brental Floss coming for the first time to Alabama. He's going to be doing a live concert and a live playthrough of his game that he just released this year called Use Your Words. It's kind of like the Jackbox party games, except I think a lot better and kind of to the next level, because it uses more like meme culture and like captioning instead of just like words, although it is called Use Your Words. And we also have photographers coming in, like Affliction Cosplay Photography. We have Akio Boy, who's a videographer and local guest and YouTuber that's coming in. We have Keiji Tang, who is a voice actor coming in, talking about the voice acting industry. We have Eric Weil, who's a game developer, coming to talk about the gaming industry. We also have Paige Gardner and Little Red Fox Cosplay coming to talk about cosplay from crafting to sewing. And we also have Stephanie Chateau and Heather Scott returning that are going to be talking about like webcomics and art in general. But in terms of events, we will have a scavenger hunt, we'll have the live concerts, we're going to be having a Super Smash Brothers tournament with a $500 pot, split 60-30-10. And let's see, we have our May Cafe coming back. We have a little giveaway that we do. And yeah, that's going to be a lot of what we're doing.
Well, I'm happy to hear that, and I'm always happy to hear Brental Floss going to more conventions. We've interviewed him a few times in the past, and he's a great guy. Still haven't ran into him at a convention yet, but that's the way con life works, right?
It's actually kind of funny how we met at MomoCon last year, I believe, and we had gotten to talking, and I got to demo his new game, and I told him about the con, and I was able to convince him that he needed to come, and when I had heard that he had never been to Alabama, I thought that was amazing. Like, oh, our convention is getting you to Alabama. This is so awesome. He really is awesome. I've been a fan for quite a few years now, and so it'll be really cool to be able to, like, help him, and he'll also be helping the con.
Yeah, I think we talked to him way back in, oh, God, it makes me feel old, 2010. It's weird to think that, like, in a few more years it's going to be a decade.
Yeah, that's like a lot of YouTube and stuff in general. Like, I've been a fan for years now, which is, I guess, making sense to the fact that I'm helping run a fan convention. But YouTube and internet content in general is getting so old now, and it still feels like yesterday.
We're getting older. The days of Gaia Online and Newgrounds are in the past. Yeah.
Oh God, don't talk about Newgrounds. No.
And yeah, KG is also a great guy. He's very lively and energetic, so I'm sure a lot of fans will appreciate both of those guests.
Yeah, I'm really excited to bring that type of stuff just to Montevallo in general. It's a very small town. It's kind of a liberal arts town, and it hosts a liberal arts college, the University of Montevallo, and they teach from theater to communication studies to teaching. And so we want to bring the convention experience right into its backyard. And we are the most affordable convention in Alabama. We're only $15 for the whole weekend and $20 at the door, but our pre-reg price is $15, which is one of the most affordable. So we like to think that we can be that fun, small little con at the end of the year, that if you have that after-con blues, you can come and see things that you might not have seen on the regular con circuit.
Yeah, no, that's a great idea. I think we're seeing more and more conventions kind of be on more major holidays too. At the end of the year, to combat like con season and con blues and all that fun stuff.
Yeah, it's a very saturated market, like conventions in general, but I think that we're going to do all right. One, because we're at a university. Two, we're in an area that doesn't really have a convention presence. And three, since we're kind of at the end of the year, a lot of the conventions that are happening at the end of the year are a lot larger and outside of our area. And when I looked at our demographics, a lot of the people that were coming from like all over Alabama. We're really trying to capture that local market. That's where we've been struggling, just getting the people around town to be like, I want to go hang out there.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of conventions kind of struggle with that, usually due to marketing or something of the sorts, because I think with the saturation issue that you mentioned, I think a lot of fans are not necessarily as trusting to conventions as they were, say, a decade ago.
Yeah. Plus, with so many popping up and dying out after their first year, it's kind of scary. We've been very lucky to be able to survive for 4 years. I mean, I've been going to Comic-Con, which is you've talked to them before. They're the largest in Alabama. I've known Ray since, their year 2. And it's kind of crazy seeing all those small cons, what they were versus what they are now. Like MomoCon is huge now, and it started as a free convention. So there is hope out there, but it is really sad to see a lot of these new cons trying to make something happen and dying after, a year.
Yeah, but I mean, you guys have proven that you're around, and you've definitely, kind of gotten through the hurdle, if you will.
Yeah. One thing that we've been doing that I think has been proving pretty effective is trying to embrace new media. Versus just like print and stuff. We do go to cons to advertise, but one thing that we did that I was very proud of was my friend and I made a commercial that has gotten about 10,000 views actually. I was very surprised. We made a little sketch parody of a Game Grumps Crunchyroll commercial, but we changed a bunch of stuff and made it about Fal-Con, and it's been going very well, and it's been getting a lot of shares. So I think to any conventions out there that really want to succeed, put most of your advertising into online.
That's good advice for a lot of people that are into conventions. I definitely think that if you are going to try to go to a local market, because I've seen a lot of conventions in Vegas do this, where they don't try to approach a local market. They'll instead be like putting flyers on a booth somewhere like across the U.S., which doesn't help at all. Don't do that.
Yeah, definitely not with flyers anyway. Like, one of our problems with capturing the local market is we are hosted at the university, but we are not directly affiliated with it. So it's been difficult getting it to where they will advertise with us. So we're trying to make it to where the program that we work through will get us advertising. So we're working on that. And maybe by next year we'll be more established on campus, because the university doesn't quite quote-unquote support us, but they're not against us. We just kind of exist, versus we work through the Sister City Commission of Montevallo. So the city kind of supports us, but our venue is one of the most important things. So we're trying to make sure that we can establish good relationships there so that what we want meets what they want, and we just want to do good for Montevallo and, the fans, because that's what fan conventions are, showing off your love for something and bringing people in to really enjoy it.
Yeah, definitely. What do you think are the advantages of having a convention at a university versus, say, like a convention center or hotel?
Depending on the university, I think it's the fact that there are so many potential young fans there. Because a convention, I think, is not only a networking event, it's also a place where you can learn more about these industries that you want to get involved in. And especially, I think, at the University of Montevallo, which, like I said before, is a liberal arts college where there's theater majors, there's artists, there's a whole building dedicated to people that are drawing, painting, doing all of these things. There's a game designs program. It's a really good way for them to get involved more in those industries. And we're trying to bring in those opportunities to the university. So I think hosting an event at a university is a good way to really give students some real-life experience into these types of events. Because cons are fun, but if we're being real, they're also a really good place to take advantage of the guests that you see and the people and the networking potential that there is.
Oh, yeah, they totally are, and I'm glad you brought that up because not a lot of people want to admit that for some reason.
I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I mean, I'm not saying that I only go to cons to get ahead, because it's not true, but I would be lying if I said that the people that I met there haven't been people that have continued to be with me and we haven't grown together. Like, I help a lot of the friends that I've made now by helping them with my convention and me being a part of their stuff. Like, I think conventions, one reason that I've really wanted to get involved with them is because they give opportunities like that. Like, growing up, I made a lot of the friends that I have today because I was cosplaying. And now I can talk to them about that stuff, and now I can make stuff with them too. And I can potentially get friends of mine that are trying to get more into the industry into a place where they can be seen more. And I can give other people that don't really know how to get into the industry a place where they can go to learn about it. So I think that's actually a really good part of cons, is that it gives you that opportunity. Because opportunities are rare, and if you can create them for people at a low price, why not do that?
Yeah, no, I definitely agree with you. I mean, that's actually one of the fun things that's interesting to teach some of the newer staff. Like when we take a baby staff to like their first con and they get to go to the green room or whatever, and they just kind of they're just like, where did Kana go, or where did Jackie go? And it's like, oh, I'm jumping around from room to, from all across the room from person to person, because that's kind of what you have to do to, I wouldn't say necessarily to do better in business, but to just kind of put yourself out there. You have to be willing to do that. And a lot of people, I think, either don't know how to go about doing that, or they're too shy to do that. And conventions are a great, beginner, kind of like a beginner play set for it, I feel like.
Yeah, and not even just for business stuff, just for your quality of life in general, it's better to go to cons to meet people. I'm a pretty extroverted person, but one reason that I love cons is because of the people I go with. And over the years, most of my friends that I've made have been at cons, and now we travel together. We book rooms together. We cosplay together. We go to panels together, and then we do, little improv stuff on our own. Like, one time, I went to this improv panel at a con, and then me and all my friends were like, I love this. So we went home and we just did it for fun. And I think that's a beautiful part of conventions, is that it brings you closer to these people, and you can create these new experiences outside of the cons and bring them back to the cons even better. The culture of conventions in general is amazing, and I don't see stuff like that really anywhere else that I go. I mean, like football conventions and, sporting events and stuff. I think they have similar cultures, but at least for the stuff that I'm a fan of, it's the best. Yeah.
No, I totally agree with you. I mean, I've been to, for example, a lot of the other shows that I go to are more like trade shows. They're way more businessy. You're not trying to talk to really anybody else besides, whatever marketing people are on the floor, which just isn't fun. So I'm glad that you're talking about kind of, embracing the fact when you go to an anime or geek or video game convention or comic convention or whatever, label you want to slap on it, there's this opportunity to basically meet and be social. It's actually kind of funny because I'm seeing more and more conventions have a tendency to take out the social aspect in a way,
yeah.
Which is kind of sad because that's missing the point of what a convention is.
Yeah, I think interactivity is the number one thing that got me interested in conventions ever since I started going. When I was 12 years old, I went to my first con, AWA, and I was dressed as Sakura from Naruto. And I would see, like, other people dressed as Naruto characters, and I would go up to them and be like, oh my gosh, we're from the same thing. And then we would exchange, like, information. I mean, I didn't have a Facebook back in the day, but I'd be like, are you going to this con? And then we would meet up later, and then our friends would meet their friends, and we would just have this awesome group of people that we could keep seeing over the years. And same for Bleach. That's really what got me into the cosplay community in general, was that show. So I think embracing what events at conventions can really do for your social life, and I guess for your business if you have one, which I didn't back then. But yeah, it never hurts to meet more people because it only increases your quality of life.
Yeah, definitely. And I'm sure the fans are really excited to hear, your view on that, considering your position in the convention. For the fans who want to keep up to date with what's, any other announcements or what's going on with the con, where can they follow you guys?
Well, we do a lot on our social media pages. We have a Facebook, which you can just type Fal-Con, Fal-Con, because we are very punny. We like bird puns, Ayo. That's
you and my roommate would get along so well.
we embrace the bird punnery of our convention. We also have an Instagram. It's just Fal Convention. And then we have a Twitter, which is Fal_Convention. And we have a website, which is falconvention.net. And yeah, our Facebook page is where we do most of the posting. Like, we'll update our Instagram and Twitter, and of course our website, which we update even before the social media. But our Facebook page is where things would be the most active.
Yeah, I'm linking that all now to our chat so people can check that out. And let me also, I'm on your guest page right now, so I gotta link the home page, or else I'm not official. Now, one thing that I think is interesting is you've had the same mascot for a while too.
Oh yeah, one thing that I wasn't here when the convention itself was established, but one thing that Trevor has told me that they really had a vision for when they created Fal-Con was they wanted kind of an androgynous feel to our mascot, and we also wanted a bird. Like, because there were so many conventions with, with just con girls, like with cutesy little con girls, and they kind of wanted to step out of that boundary, which is where we got Avery from, who is our beautiful blonde mascot. And then our bird, which was named Horace Bowie last year after we had a little Facebook contest, and they voted on the names. He's been around for a while, too. I guess he was just not named for a little bit. But yeah, we are very happy with our mascot, and we really like designing his costume based on the theme. This year our theme is the Age of Exploration. Like, we gave him a steampunk kind of look. Our artist Stephanie Chateau made his costume. She is amazing. And then Heather Scott made all of our banners and our flyers, our website. She's also amazing. They have their own webcomic, Baba Baloo, which you can also find. And just, yeah, hire them for things. They're amazing.
Fantastic. Well, since we're nearing the end of this interview, is there anything else you want to tell the fans out there?
Keep going to conventions. Like, if you want these things to be around, they need you to go. And fan-run cons, I think, are never going to disappear, because I think there's always going to be that desire to support the community. But please keep going to them and keep supporting not only local, but out of state if you can, because it won't only increase your quality of life and your fandom, it'll also just help other people out there that want to find these opportunities. And they're just really fun. Thank you guys so much for letting us do this.
Oh, yeah, of course. It's great to have you back on. And for anybody out there that missed any of this interview, don't sweat. You can find it on the website within the next few days. So keep your eyes peeled to 918thefan.com and your ears tuned to 91.8 The Fan, where we play everything you want and nothing you don't.